Good morning, everyone. This is Lynn Sugiyama speaking on behalf of the Arizona Buddhist Temple here in Phoenix, Arizona. I want to thank you for always supporting the temple and watching us. Today, we're here to commemorate our February Shotsuki Hoyo. This is the time that we remember our loved ones who have passed away during this month. I'd like to go ahead and read the list that we have for our February Shotsuki Hoyo. This is in memory of Minoru Hakata, in memory of Yajiro Hikida, in memory of Albert Yoshinobu Hirohata, in memory of Herbert Hiroe Hirohata, in memory of Maruji Inoshita, in memory of Hisa Ito, in memory of Shusaku Katamoto, in memory of Louis Susumu Kanemura, in memory of Suekichi Kimura, in memory of Kimie Kitagawa, in memory of Roger Komukai, in memory of Tom Kuhara, in memory of Jimmy Matsumori, in memory of Tame Saku Matsumori, in memory of Yomi Matsumori, in memory of Chuck H. Matsumoto, in memory of Masako Matsumoto, in memory of Sotaro Mizuno, in memory of Chuichi Okabe, in memory of Hideko Okuma, in memory of Yumi Tsuneko Peck, in memory of Shinzui Sanada, in memory of Suechio Sugiyama, in memory of Kengo Sumida, in memory of Kimie K. Takemori, in memory of Mary Tanita, in memory of Tadashi Taraji, in memory of Daiichi Tokudome, in memory of James Saburo Tomooka, in memory of Sanosuke Torigoe, in memory of Mei Seiko Tsubota, in memory of Yukano Yoshi Kuwata, in memory of Yoshie Yoshii, in memory of Shizue Uchimura, and in memory of Kathy Miyamoto Weir. This is the list that we have for February. If any name has been left off, we apologize, but please give us a call at the Buddhist Temple at 602-278-0036. Please join me in Gasho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandaps. Namandaps. Next, we will have a Dharma talk from Reverend Gregory Gibbs from the Pasadena Buddhist Temple. I hope you enjoy his Dharma talk, and please listen. Please have a good day, and we wish everybody also a happy Valentine's Day. Thank you very much for listening. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.
The passing away of our beloved pets and the passing away of the Buddha are a shock for us. But the Buddha was gone before we came. We knew the Buddha was gone. When our pets die, it is a shock. When people we love die, when persons who we love pass, that's also a shock. Now, this is for the Arizona Buddhist Temple also your Shotsuki Hoyo service. So we're remembering also all those people, all those humans, besides non-Buddhists, non-Buddhas, non-animal, not yet Buddhas, not just animals, the persons that we passed on, particularly those who passed in February, such as my own first wife, Jan Elizabeth. Now, for our combined Nirvana Day, Nehane, and Pet Memorial Service, we usually have paintings and mementos of our pets here on the edge of the Nijin or on the podium, so forgive me for neglecting this for our cyber service today. Questions, there are a couple questions we can't answer, like Where did the Buddha go when he passed away? What happened when he died? This is left a bit mysterious so far as the Buddha goes. There is no official answer to what happened when Shakyamuni passed on. But you know, we're probably more worried about our own eventual deaths, our own passing, than what happened to the Buddha. We're worried about ourselves and our family members and our friends and our pets, what happens to them when they pass on. And the Buddha was pretty clear about that. Again, for those of you who did lose a pet this year, allow me to extend my most sincere condolences. Pets teach us the worthiness of all life. Our pets teach us that all life is worthy, valuable, precious. On the one hand, my own family's most recently lost pet, it's been about 5 years now, our feline friend, Queenie, she was just a cat. But then my deceased mother was just a human being. Once you start putting just in front of things, there's no end to it. Our caring about our pets is based on the valid discernment of their worthiness, just as our caring about our mothers is based on our valid perception of their worthiness. Our dogs, cats, birds, fish are and were worthy. Our pets have pretty much the same value or lack thereof that we do. We aren't sure, as I mentioned, what happens when an enlightened person dies, but when you or I or any of our pets, Queenie, the late Queenie, Sheppy, my first dog, Fella, the closest dog I had, Space Captain, my favorite cat of all, when they die, a new life will unfold for them and for us. So will we meet our deceased pets in the future? Sure we will. Will we recognize our deceased pets in their next lives? Will we recognize them? Only if we ourselves have awoken to Buddhahood. Enlightened or not, could I recognize my mother in a new life, in a new form of life, in a different body? Probably so. Her sense of humor will give her away. I got that from her. Will I recognize our former cat Queenie in some future life of hers? Only if I have awoken to Buddhahood myself. She was a cat. Take her for all in that. I would identify her by her little trot when she thought she was about to be fed, by her meow. I knew Queenie by the way she sprawled in the sunlight on the driveway on a warm day. The sun comes up without her, it just doesn't know she's gone. So again, for those who have lost a pet or a human loved one, my condolences. Your intuition of the worthiness of your pet or the person you loved is very Buddhistic. Your sense of the importance of persons who you've loved who have passed on is appropriate, natural, valid. So let me, if I may then, turn to the topic of the great demise, the passing of Shakyamuni Buddha at the age of 80, 45 years following his beginning to teach the Dharma, after what he called the second best meal of his life. Because death can be a good thing. We know it's a good thing for terminally ill people when they're suffering, but not for their loved ones usually. And it was not a good thing for the Buddha's disciples. When you see, there are always paintings of the great demise of the Buddha passing away. And you see people of different cultures. Well, he passed away for about two weeks, took about 2 weeks. So probably word did go out and people came a bit from distant Buddhist centers in what is now Nepal and India and Afghanistan. But we also see animals drawn to him. This is probably true, just as animals were drawn to St. Francis in the Christian tradition. Probably animals were drawn to Shakyamuni in his passing, troubled by seeing this gentle soul passing on, this gentle person passing away. But you also see the monks, and it's interesting because some of the monks are quite placid, and those are the ones who are enlightened. The ones who got it, they're at peace. But you got people like Ananda, his cousin, who are just saying like, oh no, the Buddha's gone, what will I ever do? You know? So these paintings are interesting and worth our looking at. And when he was passing on, the final teaching that the Buddha gave is that when you see the Dharma, you see me. We're worried he's passing, he's going to be gone. Queenie's gone, where is she? My mother's gone, where is she? But when it comes to the Buddha, it's a little different. And the Buddha said, when you see the Dharma, you see me. Now the Dharma isn't just a bunch of books or a bunch of theories. It is not just the verbal and conceptual expression of our teaching. The Dharma is that truth we are awakening to. The Dharma are the deeper and the broader dimensions of this life that we live together. This truth that we all live together. This is the Dharma. This is what we may see, and in seeing it, we still see the Buddha. The Buddha was not just reassuring his students with bland encouragements. When Shakyamuni awoke to the interpenetrating, non-substantial oneness of all persons, places, objects, and events, he awoke to who and what he and you and I truly are. This still left his not yet enlightened disciples bereft of their great teacher. And the tradition is very specific about some things. We don't know how many students he had at that time. We know how many enlightened students he had. Of the Buddha's many students, after 45 years of teaching, tradition says that 499 of them were arahats. That means they awoke to the same truth that the Buddha did. They were just as enlightened as the Buddha. And they were the ones who could take it. The ones who weren't yet awoken were quite seriously bereaved. After 45 years, the Buddha left tens of thousands of students, and he left thousands of teachings and authorized thousands of teachings. Our denominational founder, Shinran, when he passed away, estimates are there were somewhere between 20 and 90 students he had. The Buddha, 10,000. Shinran, 90. Yet here we are, more than 750 years after Shinran's passing, and more than 2,500 years after the Buddha's passing, here we are, still commemorating our founders, our denominational founder Shinran and our Buddhist founder Shakyamuni Buddha. For the Buddha, death was like a caterpillar shaking off its old skin to move on to become a butterfly, a new existence. The caterpillar sheds his skin to find a butterfly within. That was a song once. This is what it was like for the Buddha, like a caterpillar awakening to a butterfly. So again, we're talking here about the decease or the great decease, the parinirvana of the founder of Buddhist tradition, Shakyamuni. This happened in India about 2,500 years ago. Shakyamuni sought a deep spiritual resolution of the problems of aging, inevitable aging, unavoidable death, ignorance, and suffering. But he wasn't just escaping from this negativity. What he sought was a positive, fulfilling, valuable way of living. And I'll use an analogy again that I've used once before or more, but we're on tape now, so we can't repeat ourselves as much as ministers did before. But in the Majjhima Nikaya, they asked the question, what was the Buddha seeking? And there are two answers given. It says he was seeking, he had a yearning for an existence that was wide open. And the other analogy is he was looking for a way of living that was complete and pure, like a polished shell. So here's my misemono I've used before. Polished shell, I paid about $10 for it, I think, about 20 years ago, so I've gotten my use out of it. It's pretty. It has a kind of a completeness to it, was what the Buddha saw in something like this. It is what it is. It is perfectly a shell. It's a nice shell. Can we be nice human beings? Can we be just perfect human beings? Shakyamuni found a way to fulfill that yearning for an existence complete, perfect, and beautiful like a polished shell, or wide open, into the great wide open. These are the two analogies in the sutras for enlightened living, what the Buddha sought, what the Buddha found. An existence that is wide open, free, vast, inconceivable, an existence that is complete and pure as a polished shell, finite but symmetrical, composed, beautiful. A life that is admirable, a way of being that is focused, embodied, present-centered. Here! This is what the Buddha sought and found. This is why we revere the Buddha. This is why we commemorate his passing on, we believe it was November 15th, about 2,500 years ago, roughly 2,500. We're also commemorating all those who passed in the month of February, including my first wife, the late Jan Elizabeth, and all of our pets. How many of your pets, are there any you don't remember the name of? I remember every name of every pet I've ever had, and I won't bore you with all those names, but I am remembering today Sheppy and Fella and Space Captain and Queenie, and I am so sorry that they are gone, and I must find them again in their new forms, and I shall, through the grace of the Buddha, through the empowerment of the Buddha. All will be well, and all will be well, and every manner of thing will be well. Thank you for participating in this service. Thanks to Donna Mitoma for being our chairperson. Thanks to Alan Goto for doing the recording and presenting of the service. Thanks to all of you for joining us. I will close the Dharma message portion of this service with Gasho, with saying the Buddha's name and relying on the Buddha's help. And again, thank you for watching the service. I thank Lynn Sensei and Michael Sensei and Vaughn Sensei for producing the service and having the humility to include my little talk in the midst of it. As you wish, please join us in closing Gasho, closing the Dharma message portion of the service. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you very much.